You can always just put the microphone down there too.
The Stand in the Light Memory Choir uses the power of music to move people with memory loss and their care partners to rediscover themselves.
Switch back to what we had. We are going to back it up.
Stand in the Light Memory Choir is a community choir where some of the members just happen to have memory loss.
It gives us something to look forward to.
That's not any louder.
Yeah, for sure.
It creates a safe place where memory loss does not define us.
The Stand in the Light Memory Choir uses the power of music to move people with memory loss and their care partners to rediscover themselves, make new friends, laugh
Usually
together.
it just goes right through and I don't have an issue.
They ask for song requests. Well, what this video is all about is this.
Every year, and I've been this song down for
We have, you keep working, Maggie.
I will.
We'll catch up with you. The Stand in the Light Memory Choir uses the power of singing to move people with early to mid stages of memory loss, their care partners to rediscover themselves, make friends, laugh together, and contribute to the community. That is our goal. It was our goal in 2016. And basically, we use the power of music to create a place where memory loss doesn't define our members. And we're a true community choir. People just happen to have memory loss. The rest of us bring other baggage, right? Because we all have some kind of baggage. So,
for years, and finally we get.
Sorry, I don't know the answer to that one.
that's okay. I'll keep going.
I'm not on the
That
line.
means I might have to sing later on when we're doing choirs. We don't do this. No, we won't. Okay, blurb.
Get the thing out.
Okay, how do I stop? And
It is wonderful. Isn't better taking any pills
Here.
of any kind.
hit pause, but I'm gonna go back a slide
You might need to.
or not. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna go here. We're gonna pass that. Okay, we're gonna stop it. So, one of our singers told me at one time, what I really like about the choir is regardless of the fact that I have Alzheimer's disease, it doesn't affect my singing. So this is a place where I can be like everybody else. It's a freedom for us. So many of our singers are people whose passions and talents give me hope for the future, regardless of the fact that they have a diagnosis. I'm going to show you a few pictures of our choir. So this was a concert that we did, and everybody had to write one word that described music to them. And as you can see, we have joy, hope, inspiring. There is not a sad person in this group.
So this is the choir?
This is the choir.
Hi.
This is most of the choir, yes. Yeah, so it's a choir, and we were doing one of our concerts, and we just wanted to talk about what music was to us. But a few comments from the members on what they enjoy about the choir. The singing, the joyfulness, the friendships, people caring, we seem like family. The sense of community, compassion, and joy that it brings. Singing as a group is very powerful and fulfilling. These people get me, which is one of my best ones. And meeting valiant people, because the choir is full of valiant people. We meet once a week and rehearse from 9:45 to 11. Social time, which is what you see here, starts at 9:15. It's great to see our members come, have coffee, treats, and chat with each other. My volunteers who run the treat section usually have to be set up by 9, because even though we say it starts at 9:15, everybody shows up early. So we have 2 main concerts, November and April, and we sprinkle some extra events and concerts in there. Now, in case you want to go on a little road trip, November 10th, we have a concert in Chippewa Falls at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the Heidi Center. And then November 21st, We have 2 concerts, 10 o'clock and 6:30 at Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. That's where we do all our rehearsals. And you can pick up that information on the handouts also. So our choir creates a safe place for people with memory loss and for those who love them. We give our members the opportunity to be successful, feel confident, make social connections, create a community out of a group of people, all while making beautiful music. We're more than a diagnosis or a sing-along. And we love sing-alongs, but we're more than that. So here's one of our favorite songs from last spring's concert, and it's not really going to work, is it? Well, let's see what happens to this one. I'm going to go here. And I got nothing. And come back to me. Oh, that's kind of people donate treats. That was a little treat table. Okay, let's see what happens if I press play on this one. Nothing. So the people zooming can't turn it. I don't know why that's not picking up. Oh, sorry, you guys. People on Zoom got one up on you. So you can see we have a very large group. This choir was 68. We currently have 79 people signed up. But you can also see, as you watch, that people are paired up in partners. So it's a person with memory loss and either their care partner or a singing partner. And then we have community members who come and join and kind of support us. No, absolutely not. So I was told there was a young man here. Well, I don't know how old he was. There was a guy over here when we came. And he was asking me about the choir, and I said, it's kind of like teaching 7th graders. Their brains aren't quite all working at the same time. There's very little of a shield. And they are just full of curiosity and life and love. Okay, let me see if I can. Well, I wish you all could have been in my living room last night because it worked right. So a little history about the choir, and then we're going to talk more about that sing-alongs and only songs they know. So the choir started in 2016, and in January of 2016, my oldest sister, Christy, passed away from frontal lobe dementia. She had been diagnosed 9 years earlier at age 57. And we saw firsthand the effect of music on her and how it'd be great when we were all together and we'd sit down and we'd play and we made tapes for her and all that stuff. She was smart, talented, kind, active, and we watched as this disease took its toll on her. We did our best, but we really didn't know about the disease. I had never experienced anyone with memory loss. Our parents had died quite young, so we just didn't know, but we did the best we could. So I was done when she passed away in January. I was done with dementia. I hated it. I didn't want to know any more about it. I had hoped I would never hear about it again. Unfortunately, in April, Lisa Wells from our ADRC in Eau Claire County called me one day. She's a friend. She's like, oh, I have this great idea for you to do in your retirement. So I went to her office and she's like, I think you should start a choir for people with memory loss. And I was like, no, this is not what I'm going to do. Who would, you'd really like it. I was like, no. So she said, well, okay, watch this video first from the a memory choir in Minneapolis called Giving Voice. And then she very discreetly pushed the Kleenex box. It's true. And I was hooked because as I watched it, I thought, who has memory loss in this choir? I could guess, but I really couldn't tell. So a friend of mine, Pastor David Huber, and I went up to a rehearsal, and they were so gracious and welcoming. Here's all the things you need to know. Here's everything we've done. And then afterwards, we were at a little social for the choir, and a choir member came up, and David and I are sitting there, and this choir member said to us, "Oh, are you joining the choir?" And I thought, oh, like one of us could have memory loss and no one would know. And that's when everything started to really click. Like, why do we have this stigma about it? Like that we can guess? You know, we don't know. So anyway, so we started in August of 2016. We rehearsed 1 week with UCC Church, and then it burned down. I shouldn't laugh. We had a lightning strike. And then we didn't miss a beat. We missed one rehearsal. And then Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd opened its doors to us. And it was many churches and many places offered, but we needed to have a place that was flat, accessible, not confusing. And you know, some of these old churches, as amazing as they are, and how it would be so much fun to sing in them, they have all those hallways and closets and doors, and we're like, no. So we went to Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. Now, the next 8 years were a whirlwind of growth and laughter, music, and camaraderie. And we grew from 16 members at our first concert to, as I mentioned, 79 members are on our roster as of right now. So the growth of this choir is amazing. The need for it is evident. And the impact of this choir is beyond words. And recently, I was just asked, well, how do you get your singers? Do you recruit? And I was like, no. People just show up. Like the word just spreads. And people come to concerts and they're like, oh, wait, I want to be a part of this. And it's kind of interesting. Our choir seems to divide itself into thirds. Can't see what this is. So we have a third of our choir is people with diagnosed memory loss or people who have acknowledged memory loss. And then a third of our care partners. Now, sometimes their care partner is their full-time care partner, a spouse, or a parent. Sometimes we provide the care partner. We provide a singing partner, and that's where our community members come in. And then we have a third who are just community members who come to share their love of music and support us. Oh, I should warn you, I always cry at least once during these presentations. I try not to, but I might. So this is what a rehearsal looks like right now. And you can see we have partners going, people working with each other. This partner, this group, this duet in the front. And this is the hardest part of the choir, I'll tell you. Early diagnosis. So people like my sister who are diagnosed mid-70s. But the great thing is when we can get them into the choir early like that, we can create the patterns and the security so that they can just last longer. It's pretty cool. So we provide an opportunity to sing and participate in just a normal activity. In this case, it's singing together and socializing together. Provides an opportunity to still do, still grow, still be a part of life, and create memories while others are fading. Because contrary to what we were taught many years ago, oh, your brain grows till you're, whatever, 25, 22, it used to vary a little bit. They have found that that's simply not true. Your brain continues to create brain cells until you die. Now, sometimes it can't create enough to cover up what's going on, but you always have that opportunity to still grow. So anyway, you can see everybody has a binder, and I'm going to show you a binder. Okay, this one's mine, so it's a little messier than usual. But so everybody gets a purple binder, And inside, every song is numbered. And it's numbered with specific colors. So when we're singing, we have a color code. So if we're going to sing song number 11, this goes up. People have extra help finding that number because maybe numbers are gone, but colors aren't gone from their heads, right? Or maybe colors no longer mean anything, but a number still means something. So we try to create as much success as possible. So every folder, regardless of the level of memory loss, has a song, you know, just a regular piece of choir music. Again, it's one of those things where a lot of people who maybe have lost the ability to read can still read music. And we're going to talk a little bit about where the brain stores all of that stuff. And then everybody also gets just a set of lyrics. For some people, it's too much to look at the music. They also get a rehearsal CD, and we have our rehearsal CDs online, and we help people get to that. So we give people a lot of chances to learn. As far as only singing songs they know, that's what we thought we had to do, but you don't. It's very odd. I mean, odd's the wrong word. It's fascinating, really, because again, you can continue to learn. I teach things just like I taught for 32 years, piece by piece, and it all works out well. So in 2020, in January of 2020, we had over 45 members, and then the pandemic came. Remember the pandemic? And we decided to continue the choir online. And most people said, oh, no, you can't do that. Work with people with memory loss on computers. And you may have noticed I'm maybe perhaps a bit of a bullhead, or sometimes worse. And but we didn't give up. So with the help of some amazing millennials, our own children, our grandchildren, we became a virtual choir. And my living room became a studio for Zoom rehearsals. And our rehearsals changed a little bit, but we had young people helping. And that's when we started calling ourselves just the Boomer Zoomers. Now, I will tell you a little funny story because you're all grown-ups. So while we were learning how to Zoom, our house, my husband, we live in kind of like a tri-level. So I would be downstairs and he would be up on the third floor. And I'd be like, okay, I'm going to Zoom with you now. And then that's how I learned how to Zoom. I would send him links and then we would Zoom. And he was so good and sweet about it. And it was just great. And this went on for a month or more, you know, like every day, Boomer Zoomer. And one day I was like, oh, honey, his name's Jeff. I'm like, thanks so much. You've been so great. Are there any little kids doing this? And he goes, that's okay. He goes, as soon as you say we're going to Zoom, he goes, I just get my computer juice. I said, well, what's that? He brings out like a sniffer of brandy. I'm like, oh, well, whatever works. It worked for me. So yeah. So we had that happen, and wonderful things happened during the Zoom. We literally would go to people's houses, stand in their driveway and go, here's what your computer should look like. You know, it should look like this. I mean, I mailed out 50 kazoos to people because we did a song with kazoos. But the best was, one of my best days was we had a wonderful lady named Nadine. One day she came to rehearsal and she had like a rainbow behind her. And we were all like, how did you do that? And she got to teach all of us how you put the backgrounds on when you're Zooming. And it was great. So we not only survived the pandemic, but the choir actually thrived. And I learned so much about computers and how to use them, as did our choir members. And during that time, I also gained 30 pounds. And when I went to my doctor, when I went to my appointment, he was like, oh, Cathy seemed to have put on a few pounds. I was like, it's brain cells, and we're not going to talk about it anymore because I had to learn. So it's true. And thank goodness I've had my doctor a long time, and he just kind of went, okay. But yeah. So this is kind of what one of our Zoom rehearsals would look like. And I don't know how many of you ever did group Zooms or people who are Zooming now. You know, you have to mute and unmute and all that stuff. But the greatest thing about having our Zoom choir was we realized that we had families that couldn't see each other. Mom was in a facility. The kids were spread out across the country. So what we could do is we could put them in a room, you know, computer room, and let them talk amongst themselves. And we had spouses who couldn't see each other, but they could see each other here. And so it was like this added bonus. Do I want to do it again? No, I do not. But I'll tell you, it was truly worth it. So maybe we'll just watch a little bit of this next song.
Enjoy our Mighty Mouse theme.
My living room. I get the gist of our kazoos. And oopsie, sorry, I didn't. But you know, we all did a lot of things that you just had to do during COVID to make things exciting. So one thing that we kept from the pandemic times is we still have virtual and hybrid rehearsals. So we do this so that people who joined during COVID can still participate. We do it in case people don't feel well, they can still participate. So right now we have virtual members from Madison, Menominee, Fairchild, Chippewa Falls, Arizona, England. And like I said, anybody who might be feeling under the weather that day, they can join in. Now, if you're interested in seeing what a rehearsal is like, all you have to do is on your information, there's a Gmail, Stand in the Light Choir Gmail. Just send us your email. We'll put you on the list and welcome you when you come virtually. I mean, you're welcome to come in person too. Okay. If you know of someone who has memory loss, I think let me start over. One of the things we did with my sister was we started to isolate her because we thought, what if something went wrong? What if she said something? What if she did something? Well, the truth is no one cares. The only people who cared were us. We didn't want her to feel bad. She wasn't going to feel bad, but we didn't want her to feel bad. So if you know someone who's been given a diagnosis of memory loss, whether it's frontal lobe or Alzheimer's or the plethora of other diseases, make sure they stay living. Make sure you involve them in things. You know, one of the best moments with my sister was she loved going shopping. And so one of the last times she was able to get out, I took her shopping, but she wasn't buying anything. I spent so much money. Because she would be like, oh, Cathy, you should have that. Oh, to make her happy. Of course, I need that, you know. But anyway, but you know, maybe it's starting a choir. Maybe it's starting the choir as a sing-along. Maybe it's just making sure that you still get people to a library or to a cafe or someplace where they still experience life like we know it. And so our choir continues to grow. As I mentioned, we had lots of concerts, and the choir makes a quality difference in the members. And I always feel kind of goofy saying that, like, oh, my choir makes a difference. Da-da. But the truth is, it's not me. It's not just the choir. It's the fact that we've created this community that works together. One thing we've added this year is something called encore events, where after rehearsal, we provide lunch. Nothing, you know, like subs, or it's going to be spaghetti next week. Can't wait. And then we have a small event. We have people perform. We're going to have professional jugglers come. We're going to have some crafts, but a place where people can not worry, like, oh, am I doing the right things? Is everything okay? Yes, because when we're all together, it's all going to be okay. So that's another just kind of fun thing. I will say we did get a grant from the Pablo Foundation to do that. Otherwise, we would have figured out a way. But grants are a wonderful thing, and I'm sure at the library, Maggie, you know that grants are a wonderful thing. You know, so we are 501c3. You know, so that just means we, you know, that's what we are, and we survive on grants and donations and the wonderful volunteers that fill our board, that are ringer singers, that bring us treats, that play our instruments. We couldn't do it without our volunteers. Now, I'm still going to play a part of this next video. This is a video about two of our choir members, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about them before you see it. It's Dick and Pat Kafusman. And do you know them? Yes. Okay. Oh, get your hanky out, get your little Kleenex out. Dick and Pat Kafusman are this amazing couple that have been in the choir for about 5 years. And she has memory loss, and he does not. And I can only hope that if something happened to me, my husband would be as wonderful as Dick Kafusman is. So I'm going to play just a little bit of this video. Again, that was given to us as a gift by the Eau Claire Community Foundation. Or not. This one should have been embedded in there. I'm dying. Let me do one more thing. So no. Okay. I'm going to keep going, but I'll show it to you later if you want a close up of it later. Let's see if we can. So I will tell you this though, before you see the video. Dick is amazing, but what he told us is even more amazing. He told us that for him, getting back to singing with the choir is what allows him to keep Pat at home and continue to be her caretaker, because they can come to this together. They don't sit by each other. He goes and hangs out with the guys. She hangs out with the girls. It gives him that respite, but also they have something that they're doing together. You know, we can't change the person with dementia. We can't do any of that. What's happening is a disease. It just is. It's icky and no one likes it. But having music in their lives is essential. Having music in your life is essential. And so we're going to just jump ahead, and I should say jump in, and I'm going to teach you a little song. Okay? Is that okay at the library? There's some over here that we have to be quiet for. Too bad. Okay. Okay. We're going to, okay. So this song's very easy. It's going to be this, and then you're just going to echo the things that I say. But I'm going to guess that you're going to have fun with this. So all you have to do is repeat after me right now. You got to put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You got to put one foot in front of the other and lead with foot. Do that. Yeah, okay, but that wasn't very energetic. So let's have a little more energy. Let's take it from the beginning. And you got to put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. So that's kind of the whole song, except for a little part where you're going to echo me. So, are you ready? Good. Now, you're going to do this. You're going to clap. And then we're going to sing it. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Now all you're gonna do is repeat after me. Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
You're not alone.
You're not.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving.
Can we sing it? You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared.
You're scared.
And I'm scared too.
Scared.
But here I am.
Here I
Right next to you.
am.
You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Now that song can go on and on. You can add parts and do all this stuff, but the most important thing is how much of your brain you just used. And that's right. So anybody want to take a guess how many different parts of your brain we just used? Ooh, that's a good guess, but it's not quite right. So right now, just right now, you gave your brain a little mental exercise. So you used your motor cortex, right? You kept the beat. Every time you're doing that, your motor cortex goes, oh, yes, I like this. This is good. You used your cerebellum because your cerebellum tells your body, this is how we're going to move it. We got that going. Then you used your auditory cortex. And your auditory cortex is, of course, what came in through your ears. So your ears are going, oh, yes, we like this. I'm going to store that over here in the auditory cortex. And then we used our prefrontal cortex because we started singing back and forth and back and forth. And you had to know when I was singing and when you were singing, right? So we do it automatically, but your brain is firing up there. Then we also use our hippocampus. This is where memories are stored. And it's why people with memory loss, they go, oh, they still know their music. Because it's not stored in audio. It's not stored just in muscle. It's stored in all these different parts of the brain, especially the memory. Then, if I made you all perform, which you kind of were, you have to use your sensory cortex. I could tell some of you were already like, okay, so she's asking us to do something. Okay, everybody, come on, everybody, get your brains going. We got this, right? And you just kind of got going. Your visual cortex, I gave you something to look at. Another place that music is being stored in your visual cortex. Then you have your nucleus accumbens. That's where like your emotions are. And it's weird because memories and emotions are kind of stored in two different places. They overlap. But like a baby doesn't really have any memory of what a happy face is, right? But if you smile at a baby, Their emotional brain knows that. People with memory loss, well, it's everybody. It's not just people with memory. Everybody likes it if you just smile at people, talk, say hello. Hello. He's like running away now. And
Don't make me sing.
yeah, nobody go in the hallway. And then we have your, I'm gonna say it wrong, amygdala, that's how you say it. And that's also a place where emotions are stored. And then, of course, your cerebellum. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different places where music is stored in our brain. And so why wouldn't we keep it with us, right? We just have to keep it with us. And that's why it's so important. Now, at this point, before I talk a little bit more about music and medicine and all that stuff, does anybody have any questions? None yet? Okay, good. So I'm just going to tell you a couple of things now that music does. And again, I taught music for a million years. And I taught everything from K up through college. I perform, I have a swing band, I have a jazz trio. I get to sing with the La Crosse Jazz Orchestra every summer. I get to do all these fun things that are sharing music. But music actually does some actual things. A lot of people, oh, you're in music. That's nice. Oh, you have a music major? Yeah, that's great. And it's happening a lot in our schools right now. Oh, music programs? Oh, well, can we cut that? Because we want our test scores to go up. Hey, hello. More music will make your test scores go up. It's a proven fact. But anyway, a little bit more about what's happening in our brain. Music promotes neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is this great word, and all it means is that it helps your brain cells hold hands. Because sometimes what happens in memory loss, we lose the connection. Part of us knows, part of us doesn't know. And neuroplasticity helps create another connection. Making music improves cognitive abilities across your lifespan, from day one till day done. Okay. Singing increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain and is beneficial to overall health. Now, I'm not lying when I say you are going to leave here healthier than when you came in, because you have learned all kinds of fun things, and you have also put more oxygen into your system. He picked something up. He's leaving us now. Anyway, but singing together, and then again, I'm not making this up. This is proven scientific fact. Singing together lowers blood pressure, increases the release of endorphins, boosts your immune system. And recent study has shown that musical activities in groups are ways to maintain physical and psychological health. So I really think doctors should give this as a prescription. Eat well, get enough rest, and join a choir, because it makes a difference. Now, Renee Fleming, I don't know if you had an interview, she's an opera singer, recently retired, but is still doing amazing work with music and medicine. A couple of years ago, they put her in a CAT scan machine because they wanted to see what happens to the brain. So first she had to she was in the CAT scan machine, and she had to say the words to Amazing Grace. And then they checked what everything was lighting up, and they recorded all of that. Then she had to sing Amazing Grace, and more of the brain lit up, right? Because she was using more things. But here's the most fascinating part. The brain completely lit up when she had to imagine that she was singing it. So think about all the things that we do when you're singing. And if you have to create that pattern in your head, it helps your brain. So even just listening to music makes your brain better. It'll make you better too. Music changes. It changes us. And the choir is changing. It changes all the time. The clientele changes. The music changes every semester. But there's always a sense of community that goes far beyond singing together and making music. We share our music with others, and that is another huge bonus of having a choir like this or getting people with memory loss involved. They begin to start feeling, I am less than, because I have a diagnosis. Well, bad news. I mentioned it earlier. Everybody brings baggage, right? So, for instance, for me, I had polio when I was a young girl, and now in the last 5 years, I have what's called post-polio syndrome. That leg is getting weaker. So, I can still do just about everything I want. I mean, I was never a runner, obviously, but we all bring something to this. So, at the end of our concert in November, and there's going to be a new director taking the podium, Kate Larson. She's sung in the choir for 2 years. She's great, a wonderful musician. And I'm just going to go behind the choir and keep pushing. Okay, because I truly, truly believe in it. So let me see what's next here. So this is a picture of our choir from last spring. And as you can see, we're pretty cozy up there. There's 72 people singing last spring. And we wear all black. The rules are wear black, but don't wear velvet or something warm because you will melt. You can wear any color shoes you want as long as they are comfortable. We don't want people coming in there high heels that they haven't worn for 6 months. Comfortable shoes. And then everybody gets a purple scarf. And you can wear your purple scarf any way you want to. The men wear them, the ladies wear them. We found some company that was selling out, and we bought all their purple scarves. So you might think, well, that's nice, but it goes beyond just being nice. Suddenly, that person who has been diagnosed with memory loss and maybe is feeling like an outsider, they belong. They're a community. They're part of us. A simple act of putting us together in a purple scarf makes a huge difference. I believe in music. I truly do, and always have. When I was a teacher, I always had my 2 different year goals. I had the one I had to turn in, which was things like, my students will know how to read music. My students will be able to sing a scale. And I would turn that in and they'd say, thank you, Cathy. But I was fortunate enough, most of the time I had principals who knew that my real goals were, I want my students to like music when they leave me. Because if they like music when they leave me, that's excellent. If my choir now, my memory choir, if they like music when they leave rehearsal, their day is so much better. Their week is so much better. So it's just like us. And music, just think about what music does to all of us. You want to clean the house? You put on some lively music, right? You want to be sad? Maybe you can put on some music that will comfort you. Or what I like to do is put on music that grieves with me. So if I'm sad, sometimes I just want to go with it. If you want to go to sleep, if you want to walk faster, if you want to time something, there's music for that. There's music for all of it. And why we deny it so much as a community, I haven't quite figured that one out. So people ask me, hey, why did you start this choir? And most often people think, oh, I did it to honor my sister, which is somewhat true, but not totally true. Because if you had a chance every week to make people happy and feel good about themselves and laugh and feel camaraderie, if you could do that every week for a group of people, wouldn't you do that? Because I believe that you probably would. You would do that. And that's what I get to do. So our theme song is called Stand in the Light. And thank you, Jordan Smith, who wrote it. But the words to, oh, I'm so close to the end. I didn't cry yet, but it could happen. The words to the refrain are, "This is who I am inside. This is who I am. I'm not going to hide." Because the greatest risk we'll ever take by far is to stand in the light and be seen as we are. So I'm going to play a little bit of it. You won't be able to hear it very well. So this person here will be the new director, actually. So if you'd like to see and hear more of the choir, you can go to our website, standinthelightmemorychoir.org. There's pictures. You can go to all of our videos. You can be like, oh yeah, that's great. You can contact me if you want to start a choir. If anyone wants to participate, I will tell you all the mistakes we made. And then I will tell you all the good things that we did. We made lots of mistakes that I'm always happy to share when new choirs are starting up. There's a lady in Boston who's getting ready to start a new choir. And so I told her, I said, you know, I'll come down, we'll chat. I'll tell you everything I did wrong. And there was a lot of it, but the choir always kept going. So music makes us rich. It validates who we are. Even when we start physically failing or memory loss sets in, it still validates who we are. We're still moved by music. And the saying, our tagline, where words fail, music speaks, is absolutely true. So thank you for letting me come and talk to you. If anybody wants to come up close and see the video, there's also a scrapbook over there you can look at and see some more pictures. You will not regret it if you start something. Start with like a holiday sing-along, something people know. Start with anything. Start with coffee and singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Doesn't matter. But get together, be a community, and make a community full of music. So thank you again so much. Does anyone have questions? Yes.
Is Parkinson's?
Yes. We have people in the choir who have Parkinson's, because a lot of times with that comes some memory loss. And it's so good for the voice. We've had people with aphasia in the choir. So the singing really helps with the voice. We have 2 people with MS in the choir who are young, but this helps them stay active. So we certainly are not exclusive. We don't ask people for a diagnosis. If somebody comes, we don't be like, hey, so, show me your papers, man. We don't do that because we don't need to. you want to come and you need help singing, we're there for you. Yeah, so it's kind of just that simple. Anything else?
I figured I would offer, maybe if I tried through my computer, we can hook up the song.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Here, right? So if you're willing to hang around for a couple more minutes here, I'll get.
Or if you come to my house, I worked at my house, we'll be cozy and you could all come over.
I'm gonna end the recording.
Yeah, just over there.